Hey, it is your buddy, Peace and Harmony with you here today. Much love going out to all the beautiful and empowered harmonizers. And we are zooming in and focusing in today on a great viewer question. And that is really to go into more in depth on the covert narcissist and the deceitful or duplicitous nature. In other words, she was very shocked to learn that this individual had done some things and really planned some things essentially behind her back without her knowing, without her know what was going on. In other words, was stringing her along, leading her along, and she, was shocked to find out all this information and this ongoings of this individual that was going on right underneath her nose. And that is really what I want to really sort of dive in today in understanding what we call the duplicitous or deceitful nature of someone who is really pathological, someone who is really malignant narcissist, someone who is very troubled and really sort of, seething and demeaning of people underneath the surface. And these people, you can feel an outright tension around them. I mean, they're not your happy-go-lucky type. They say one thing and do another. There is, they are very double-sided, double-faced, and you just don't know what you're going to get with them. And this can be a cause of a lot of pain, confusion, and bewilderment. Duplicity, it means basically deceitfulness in speech or conduct, as by speaking or acting in two different ways to different people concerning the same manner or double dealing. So it's to have duplicity. It's the root word, which I find very interesting from duplicity, is from the Middle English, the 1400s, and then the Middle French, medieval Latin. Duplicitas with ite means replacing. So like a duplicate, to duplicate. So they're replacing one way of being with you and replacing it with another. And it's very bizarre when you see this going on because you thought you were with one type of person and maybe even committed, and you realize that they were just playing you for the fool. They were just sort of stringing you along. And this is the duplicitous nature of some covert narcissists who keep a lot going on under the surface, in the back room, in the closet, that you don't know what's going on. But yet you feel that there's something a little odd going on, but you are very confrontational. You don't want to bring it up. You don't want to upset the apple carts. And then especially early on in the relationship, you might feel that you're noticing some things or observing some things that aren't quite grooving or fitting together. There's a mismatch in the picture. There's something missing, just like that back when you were a kid. What's wrong with this picture? You kind of feel like, well, what's wrong with this picture? When you're dealing with someone who's really pathological or hiding a lot, you are going, if you're going to stay in the relationship, you're going to be assigning yourself the role of super sleuth. You're going to have to be the one to be investigative and try to flush things out. I mean, is that what you want to do? Do you want to go that far? If not, you just have to let it be and then just realize that this person is an adult. They have the right to be how they want to be. But duplicitous or pathological nature is going to be almost like a train wreck. If you don't want to see it unfold, if you don't want to see it break down, where eventually it goes off the tracks, then you might just want to say, I'm checking out here. I've done all that I can. You have to give yourself some sort of closure. And just saying, I've done all that I can. I've done everything that I could. I was there to, oftentimes we find that there's a feeling of woundedness with the covert narcissist. There's something you must do for them or repair for them or be for them. You're trying to always be protective so that they don't get hurt, so that they have what they need, so that they're well fed, they have a place to sleep, they're well clothed, they have their interests. You're always trying to cater and help them pull themselves out of their shell. This is the duplicitous nature of the covert narcissist. They will take those advances, but they pull themselves out of their own shell in their own way, in their own time. So, you have to realize they're kind of like you have to allow them to be the bigger person and not try to change or fix them. They are that way for a reason, and maybe they can teach you something in life. I mean, maybe you've learned something from them. So I definitely recommend in your recovery journal writing down your lessons learned. You know, I recommend this time and time again. It's a big section in the recovery journal that I discuss, which is lessons learned. You need to put that at the top header of, you know, this section of your recovery journal, lessons learned, and then list, you know, 1 through 20. You know, if that can fit on 1 page, 2 page, whatever it is, and just begin to fill it in. The lessons that I learned from this relationship are, and then just write it down. See what your hand has to say. See what your heart has to say. See what your truth has to say. Because your heart knows best, but sometimes you can't hear your heart when it's so muffled. You're so used to hanging around or being in a duplicitous relationship who is one way with one person and one way with you. I mean, it's too much to figure out. You know, these people, it's just going to be like playing a game, and that gets less than exciting. I mean, it's hard to come out a winner when you've got these players. So, you know, if they are this way, you know, come back to being with yourself as one. You don't have to try to, you know, be deceitful like they are. You don't have to try to keep up with the Joneses. You know, why would you want to try to keep up with them? It's not a race that you must win. It's not a battle that you must fight. It's not something you must ensue. You must be content and happy and, you know, as awake and alive and happy as you can be on your own outside of this. So forgiving yourself and then resensitizing yourself, like I recommend, is a great way to feel good. The lessons learned, once you read those and you see those, you're like, my heart really is very strong. My heart sees things clearly. My heart can see things better than my eyes. So it's really like seeing with your heart, which is like a really interesting concept. But really that's what it is. It's like a heart vision. You really, when your truth comes out, you're really able to live in the fullness of your life. And those wounds are no longer there. They're healed. They're no longer hurting. They're no longer impairing your decision-making process. If you're still caught up in a lot of defense mechanisms, you know, still trying to overstudy too much, you know, you're not going out or you're not feeling good, you're still feeling depressed, you know, then you haven't really made that leap, that jump. But we really want you to get there, and so that you are healed completely, like just sealed off. You know, energetically. So that's why I really recommend resensitizing yourself. We only have a few minutes left on this videotape. But, you know, after being stuck or involved with this duplicitous type of individual, which is very pathological and malignant, meaning diseased, disordered, causing you disorder, causing you chaos, causing your life to go off the tracks, causing you to go off the trail, it's time to get you back on the trail and you love in life. And, you know, one thing I definitely recommend is coming to your senses and resensitizing yourself. Resensitizing, giving yourself writing down all your senses. In fact, that's a great thing to do in your recovery journal, is write down resensitization, resensitized at the top, and then write 1 through 7. And in that, I want you to write all of your senses. So sight, sound, taste, touch, hearing, feeling, and then higher consciousness. So you've got 7 senses. Your sight that you need to resensitize, your hearing you need to resensitize, your taste you need to resensitize, your feeling of touch you need to resensitize. See what I'm doing? What else do we miss? So you've got your 5 senses: sight, hearing, taste. We remember that. In other words, healing, taste, touch, and sound, what we're listening to right now. So we're resensitizing our 5 senses, surrounding yourself with positive visions, hearing positive and soothing music, as well as internal self-talk, resensitizing your feelings, so getting something that is tangibly comforting, like a terry cloth blanket or a big overstuffed pillow, or what I'm doing right now, these these finger rollers, which are Ayurvedic medicine. They recommend it improving the circulation, especially for people like me who work a ton on the computer and the mouse. This feels amazing. It's like getting a massage for your fingers. And then also your sense of intuition. So being able to honor your intuition, resensitizing your intuition, paying attention to it more. I feel I really should. These are the words that will help to liberate your intuition. I feel like I really should. I really want to. I know I should do this. This is your intuition. And then your higher consciousness, which is like the arc of your feeling. It's like the crown that connects you to the heavens, where you feel all of a sudden sort of a blessing and an abundance, and you can move forward gracefully. And then you're able to kind of look out and then see beyond your trials and tribulations. You're able to work beyond. You're able to stand in just energy. You feel lighter. You don't feel so dense and heavy. Your energy, you feel like your cells are expanding and you're full of just energy. You know, you're not so down and depressed. So that's your higher consciousness. And then you begin to kind of look at things and wonder and see things from a new perspective, and you might begin talking a little bit more intelligently, making better decisions, taking better pictures. That's your higher consciousness. And so, whoa. My computer just shut down, so I'm going to wrap up this video. Hey, we're still going here. My computer shut down temporarily, and I was on that page that looked like on definitions, and there are so many ads on that, or like the computer is just, the mouse just was like clicking on an ad that caused it to shut down. So I apologize for that.